Hello, and welcome to another version of Tuesday Tapestry. It's good to have you with us. Today I'm very honored and pleased to have with me as my guest Monsignor Joseph Mayo, who is the rector and the pastor of the Cathedral of the Madeleine, and also Mrs. Arlie Leonidas, who is the director of administrator of liturgy and music at the Cathedral. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation.
What I'd like to do today, and I know that so many of our listeners obviously are aware of the cathedral. We have, I think, if I may say, the most beautiful cathedral in the United States or even beyond. We're very blessed with our beautiful cathedral. It's gorgeous, and of course it was renovated in the early 90s, and we now are the beneficiaries of a lot of people's generosity. And I know, Monsignor, that you worked very hard along with Arlie and your entire staff to keep the cathedral up, and that you do this as a great service to our local church. The cathedral plays a critically important role in the church. And so maybe I can ask you, Monsignor, what is the role of a cathedral in the Catholic Church? What does it mean for us as a church?
Well, first of all, Bishop, it's the seat of the office of the bishop, and any Catholic who goes to any major city in the world, Europe especially, knows that the cathedrals of Europe really stand out as icons in the city, and as the cathedrals were being built here in this country at the turn of the century, each of the cathedrals, especially at the turn of the century around 1900, many of the cathedrals that we know in our own part of the world were built, and they were meant to be churches that have special design and features that set them apart from other churches because they were the seat of the diocese, the chair of the bishop. And so from those churches, as in our case, and the church in Ogden, for instance, for one time were the only two churches here in Utah because of the small size. And so Bishop Scanlon had a vision for a very grand building when he thought of the early drawings of the cathedral, perhaps too modest, and other people talking into something more grand, on a grander scale than he even imagined. And so the earliest drawings had the church with even higher steeples on it, so that people in this part of the world would know that indeed we do have a Catholic presence here in this city, and as did the other bishops in other places. So the cathedral is a very prominent place in the diocese, in all dioceses, and to it all people look up to it for not only just to know that the bishop is there, but that anything pertaining to the cathedral or to the bishop are done with the highest quality and best taste possible.
Mm-hmm. And so there's a real sense that the cathedral is the mother church in the diocese. Absolutely.
And they figure that whatever the cathedral's doing sets the tone and the pace for everybody else. And so in a way that's always been the case, and certainly the way that the cathedral, our cathedral for instance, has been decorated over the years. It certainly shows the integration of some beautiful art and architecture and of course music all in one place.
And of course I know Father Robert Barron often speaks of the cathedral as the new Eden, and you see the columns, and they're to represent the trees of Eden and the color, and our cathedral is gorgeous. The colors are just beautiful. Did those come out in the renovation, I suppose, or?
Well, they were highlighted during the renovation, but they actually were part of the 1917 renovation that Bishop Glass undertook to, people say, to sort of underscore the influence of the wonderful bright colors of the Southwest. And so the colors that you see in the cathedral are the bright teal and the bright orange and the wonderful gold, etc., and yellows that you see throughout this part of the world. And so the interior architect, John Coombs, had that vision, along with the murals, to bring this brightness to the interior of the cathedral, which until then was simply painted white.
I see. I see. Well, it certainly is beautiful, and I'm colorblind, and even I can appreciate it. And Arlie, you are the administrator for liturgy and music. So we've talked a little bit about the cathedral building itself, which is in itself is a piece of art, but there's a lot that goes on in it. I would imagine that's pretty complex to orchestrate all those liturgies that take. What kind of liturgies happen in the cathedral?
Well, lots of liturgies, as everybody knows. And we do diocesan liturgies, the big events like ordination, the Christmas, the weddings, funerals, confirmations, which are huge and big events too, and the regular daily and weekend masses. And everybody just loves coming here, I think.
I think you're right. I know and you have, of course, the music program is quite renowned, isn't it?
We are very spoiled, I think, to have the kind of music that we have. And we're just grateful that we're able to give it to the community, and the liturgy that we are giving to the community. But it involves a lot of work, preparation.
Yes.
Preparation and organization, and of course volunteers.
Yes.
I would like to emphasize how important the volunteers are.
Yes.
Because without the volunteers, we won't be able to do everything that we are doing.
And you have so many Eucharistic ministers, lectors, greeters, ushers,
altar
the Cathedral
servers,
Choir School, the acolytes, altar servers.
Right.
The intent of the choir school was to add to the great tradition of music here at the cathedral. Nora Gleason was the first director of music and organist of the cathedral in 1909 when the cathedral opened. And as the brochures often say when you read them at the concerts, etc., that this is tradition that has gone on for over 100 years, since 1909, because Nora Gleason assembled all these children from the city to sing here at the cathedral for special occasions. And so the tradition goes on, and there's been high points and low points, of course, but we were blessed in around 1990 to start this great tradition of the improvement of the church music here at the cathedral, and that was capped off with the founding of the Magdalene Choir School in 1996, which gave full-time emphasis in the great tradition of the European choir schools.
Please.
And they started also with the after-school program, even before the opening of the choir school.
What is that now? The after school? That's
the after school, which is not, they're not
like
students.
It predated the choir school. It started as an after
in
school
1990.
I see. So they go to the regular school, then come to our after school program for the music. And, well, I must say, as Bishop of the Diocese, that I am just so thrilled by the liturgies, the beauty of the liturgy, the prayerfulness, the music. Everything is done well, and I know that both of you and your staff work very, very hard on that, and Mr. Glenn as well, and so we are the beneficiaries of it, and we're just so grateful to you. But the cathedral, I introduce you as rector and pastor, and I know that there was a time when we would simply say rector. The thinking is the bishop is the pastor of the cathedral, but of late we often, and much my preference to say that you are the pastor of the cathedral. I'm the bishop of the diocese, the pastor of the diocese, but so you have a parish. So the cathedral is a parish as well. Is that correct?
Well, the cathedral is not a large parish. It's a rather small parish. We're populated mostly by visitors who come as they want to do from the different conventions that come through town, etc. People from all over the country here at any given Mass, and who are traveling through, especially the tour groups in the summertime, who come mostly to the evening Mass on Saturday or Sunday. But the parish is a very vibrant parish. We have a social outreach in terms of our Good Samaritan program, in which we try to take our part in the downtown aspect of helping the poor and the needy in the name of the bishop, of course, and of course developing fine education programs for adults, and of course the education program offered by the Magdalene Choir School. So with all of those things functioning at one time, we're a very busy place, in addition to the funerals and weddings that we have of people from outside the parish that want to get married in the cathedral. And so Arnie can tell you at any given time the calendar can become very complicated, and when people are told no, they can't understand why there's no time in the cathedral and it looks empty half the time. Well, it's just that everybody wants the same time. So it takes almost an act of Congress to get something on the calendar at the cathedral. But hopefully what we try to do is avoid train wrecks so that people are not all trying to use it at the same time and leave time for the usual worship services.
Talking about calendar, Bishop, calendar of the cathedral, just calendar scheduling is a full-time job.
I bet it is.
If I may say so.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have to be very careful not to schedule two things at the same time.
Right.
Because it will be a major disaster.
Oh, can you
Yeah.
imagine? Well,
Yeah.
you do a very good job, Early, and you keep it all
I try.
keep it all together well. Of course, what strikes me, you're talking about the beauty of the cathedral, the extensive programs of the cathedral, the fact that it's everybody's cathedral. We all, it's the mother church of this local church, the Diocese of Salt Lake City. What strikes me is this is not an easy task to maintain a successful cathedral and cathedral program, particularly when we know that years and years ago, decades ago, they didn't think so much of endowments. And so I know that both of you and your staff, you have a development director, Laurel Dokas, and that you work very hard in maintaining our cathedral. And to that end, I know you have the different celebrations throughout the year. You have the Organ Festival coming up. This taping is going to begin, I think, this coming Sunday. You have the festival in the spring too, I believe.
The Mandarin Festival.
The Arts and Humanities
The
Festival.
Arts and Humanities Festival. There are other, of course, standalone functions. And then, of course, one of the main fundraiser for the cathedral is coming up very soon, September 20th, and that's the Bishop's Dinner. Could you both say a little bit about that, please?
Well, the Bishop's Dinner began in 2004. The cathedral was reopened in 1993, and it was very successful in terms of the money it raised, some $10.5 million. When all is said and done to renovate the cathedral, the cost overruns were almost double what they originally had planned. And part of that was to have put away a little money for future care and maintenance of the cathedral, but then after the 1989 earthquake in the Bay Area, Bishop Wiegand decided to finish additional work to strengthen the towers and the roof and things for the cathedral. So the cathedral is now 20 years old. And so just this last year we've made major roof repairs, and we've made repairs to the interior plaster work of the cathedral. The murals were damaged by water leaking in. So it's an ongoing process to take care of the cathedral and to maintain its beauty. It should always look like it's brand new. And the whole idea of the dinner is to add in a very small way, like a cookie jar, just putting a little money away every year to help the cathedral as we go into these next decades to maintain it and to care for it.
Good. Well,
Yes,
these are all incredibly worthwhile projects, and building up the endowment and all the different projects. So if someone is watching this Tuesday Tapestry before September 20th, 2012, I would say give Monsignor or Arlie a call at the Cathedral at 801-328-8941, and to make a contribution, to get a ticket to go. You could still go.
It's open. It's wide open. It's in the ballroom of the Grand America Hotel, and it will be on Thursday, September 20th, starting at 6 p.m. in the plaza there at the hotel. And every year, because it is the Bishop's Dinner, you always invite another bishop to help underscore the importance of the cathedral. And this year we have Bishop Gerald Kakanis from Tucson, Arizona. So we're very happy to welcome him and yourself and all the other dignitaries that will be joining us that evening.
Wonderful. It promises to be a wonderful evening. It always is. And it's a wonderful community builder as well as a major fundraiser for our cathedral. Well, again, thank you both for being here today. Thank you for all you do in working and maintaining and supporting our beautiful, beautiful Cathedral of the Madeleine.
Thank you for inviting us.
Oh, you're most welcome. And I hope that if you haven't seen the cathedral lately, do drop by. It's a beautiful oasis in the middle of our city, to be able to pray and to reflect and to just take in God's presence, of course, and this beautiful, beautiful structure in the midst of our city, and of course the mother church of our diocese. Thank you very much for tuning in. I guess I don't know if you tune into computers or not, but anyway, thank you very much for being with us, and God bless you.